Oh gosh, it's good to see you. Oh, nice to be here in person. Welcome. Thank you for coming out on this beautiful day. Oh, this always feels like home to me, so makes it easier to return from Baja. Right? The sun is shining. Lovely. So it's good to see all your smiling faces. So welcome to you in the room and those of you who are joining us on YouTube Live. Glad to have you here today. And I'm going to invite us to stand and let's get started with our first two community songs.
Good morning. Let's see if those lyrics are going to pop up for us. Hello, lyrics. Well, you can just follow me. I'll do a line. You can follow me next. Because we repeat the lines anyway. Ready? I feel the love of God. It's in me, it's in you. I feel the love, yeah. I feel the love of God. It's in me, it's in you. I hear the joy of God. It's in me, it's in you. I hear the joy, yeah. I hear the joy of God. It's in me, it's in you. I know the beauty of God. It's in me, it's in you. Whoops, whoops, whoops. I know the good of God. It's in me, it's in you. I see the beauty. I see the beauty of God. It's in me, it's in you. I see the beauty. I see the beauty of God. It's in me, it's in you. We tie it all together like this. I feel it, I hear it, I know it, it's in me. I see it, can you see it? It's the beauty in me, it's the beauty in you. I love the love, I love the love of God. It's in me, it's in you. I love the love, yeah. I love the love of God. It's in me, it's in you. Let's tie it all together again. I feel it, I hear it, I know it, it's in me. I see it, can you see it? It's the beauty in me, it's the beauty in you. I love the love, I love the love of God. It's in me, it's in you. I love the love, yeah. I love the love of God. It's in me, it's in you. 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 It's in me, it's in me. Oh, it's in you. All right. Okay, so this next song is a song I wrote about being here. We laugh, we smile, we stay for a while. As a community, we have joy and are free. We listen and we share, we love and we care. We honor this world and our good is unfurled. Together we stand in community. Hand in hand we are we. We pray and we grow. We learn and we know. All the best will show as we live in the flow. Together we stand in community. Hand in hand we are we. Let's begin at the beginning again. We laugh, we smile, we stay for a while. As a community, we have joy and are free. We listen and we share, oh, we love and we care. We honor this world, and our good is unfurled. Together we stand in community. Hand in hand we are we. We pray and we grow. We learn and we know. All the best will show as we live in the flow. Together we stand in community. Hand in hand we are we. Together we stand. Together we stand in community. Hand in hand we are we.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Yeah.
I love that. Together we stand in community. Hand in hand we are we. Well, welcome to whoever has joined us on YouTube. And while we were singing, welcome to the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Julia Robles Scott. I'm delighted to be back and serving as your bridge minister. Thank you. It is my pleasure to remind us of who we are. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the diversity of creation. We aspire to live authentic spiritual lives through a practical application of the teachings of science of mind. We engage in sacred practices that uplift our spirit, deepen our awareness, and ignite our soul's self-expression. We demonstrate active compassion to ourselves and each other and the world. We experience meaningful contribution through giving generously of our time, talents, and treasures. And we intentionally promote our community and our teachings. So now we'll do our inclusion candle lighting ritual. And I would like to invite up Rev Lanny to light the candle for us. Thank you. So we light this candle to celebrate the unity of all peoples, all faiths, all beings, all life, honoring the infinity of oneness as all creation, the seen and unseen, to remind us of the light of spirit within all of us. Thank you. So what's alive in us today? Rebirth. Hope, gratitude, peace, joy, community, love, Woo! We're pretty babies. We're pretty alive today. Oh, that feels good. So I want to remind us that we are a praying community, and in the seat backs in front of you, we have some lavender slips. If you feel the desire to have a prayer prayed for you, the ministers and practitioners will pray over your prayers throughout the week. Just fill those out, and there's a little brown box to the left of the door, and we'd be happy to do that. We pray each Monday over your prayers. Also, I'm available for prayer after service today if you'd like an in-person prayer. So thank you. Welcome guests. Are there any newcomers for the first or second time joining us today? Oh, please. Oh, welcome. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Welcome. Glad you're here. So let's see. Is this the first? No, it's not the first Sunday of the month yet. But happy birthday to all those who are experiencing birthdays today in January. My brother's birthday, Shara's birthday is today. She's not here. She's out having fun celebrating. So. Yes?
We just got a new great nephew today.
Oh my gosh! How exciting! A brand new baby. Aw, happy birthday, baby. That's why you said babies. Yes, that makes sense now. Thank you. It's time for our time in our service for announcements. And do we have an announcement reader for today? Okay, Marilyn, that'd be great.
Okay, let's see. Hi, I'm Marilyn Gale. I'm your musician, the Board of Trustees president for Sierra Center, among other things. All right. The first announcement is our annual member meeting will be held today after service. And we're going to serve you, the Board of Trustees is providing a light lunch. If you're a member, please plan on attending in person or via Zoom if you are out there in internet land. Also, anyone who's not a member is also welcome to stay for food. You can stay for the meeting as well if you're interested in doing so. Also, even though we're meeting today, our first Sunday community update meeting and potluck will meet as scheduled, which is next Sunday, February 4th. And we'll be here after service, in person and via Zoom. I don't know if you're going to be able to participate in the potluck after Zoom, but you could try. Bring a dish to share if you're joining in person. Also, we are doing a vision boarding project for our new senior minister, and that's going to be facilitated by our beautiful bridge minister, Rev. Julia. That's going to be on Sunday, February 25th after service. Now's the time to bring the vision of our new senior minister, into reality as we have fun creating vision boards for our center. Bring your magazines, your lunch, and your favorite digital music as we participate in the co-creation process as a community. Also, would you like to have a prayer partner for the week? We're going to be having an opportunity to pray with one another during the week as a way of connecting and supporting each other. Please sign up in the foyer if you're interested, or you can always email office@sierracenter.org. More information about that is coming up soon. Also, Office Angel volunteers are being requested. We're gratefully accepting volunteers for light office duty support. If you'd like to be of service, email, again, office@sierracenter.org, or let Juanita, Julia, myself, any of us know, and we'll hook you up. You can find Zoom links and details about all our announcements in our weekly e-newsletter and on our website, sierracenter.org. You can also sign up for the email list over here on this table. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Oh, and now I'm going to turn it back over to Marilyn for our next community song. How many hats are you wearing today?
Why'd I sit down? You are a treasure. Open up your mind. Let yourself feel the pleasure, being a part of the divine. We are all special. We're each unique. Open up your heart. Find the love you seek. I am a treasure. I am a treasure. I open up my mind. I let myself feel the pleasure, being a part of the divine. We are all special. We're each unique. I open up my heart and find the love I seek. A little musical interlude here. We are a treasure open to one mind. We are a treasure open to one mind. We let ourselves feel the pleasure, being a part of the divine. We are all special. We're each unique. We open up our hearts and find the love we seek. We are all special. We are all special. We're each unique. We open up our hearts and find the love we seek.
That was beautiful. Thank you. I'd like to share a sacred reading today. And it's an excerpt from Walden by Henry David Thoreau. I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of their dreams and endeavors to live the life which they have imagined, they will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. They will put some things behind, will pass an invisible boundary. New, universal, and more liberal laws will begin to establish themselves around and within them. Or the old laws be expanded and interpreted in their favor in a more liberal sense, and they will live with the license of a higher order of beings. In proportion as they simplify their life, the laws of the universe will appear less complex, and solitude will not be solitude, nor poverty, poverty, nor weakness, weakness. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them. Amen. And so now it's time for our inward shift. And our community value today is integrity. And integrity can mean different things, but when I think about integrity, I think of it as me being in alignment with my soul. So the things that come out of my mouth, the things I do, the things I think, are in alignment with the truth of my being. That's what I feel integrity is. So it's not just a word, it's more of a feeling and a way of being in the world. And I'm constantly watching myself. Like, am I feeling that? Am I feeling in alignment with that truth? or does it feel a little off? And if it feels a little off, how can I do it different next time? Say something different, or take a moment to pause before I even say something. That's often my challenge, is to stop and feel into that presence that is at the center and core of my being and what really wants to be said. But there's that really wise saying that I've heard often, that question that we can ask ourselves, does it need to be said? I think a lot of times I say things that don't need to be said. And so that's kind of my growing edge. So I'm always checking in and seeing how I feel. Am I in alignment or not? So I invite us to do the same. Check in with ourselves. And remember, it's progress over perfection. So have compassion with yourselves, right? We're human beings, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And the two go hand in hand. I used to not think, I didn't know how to integrate the two. I didn't know if it was possible. I don't know what it was. It was like, okay, here's my spiritual self and here's my human self. But I finally got it over years of classes and whatever, that my spiritual self is my human self and vice versa. And that's being in integrity, right? So food for thought this week. And now I'm going to ring the bowl 3 times, and I'll ring it once, and then we'll Om, and I'll do that 2 more times. And then we'll go into 5 minutes of meditation. one infinite power and presence, that which cannot be named, giver of all life, I know and accept that that life is the life of God, Spirit, the universe, whatever word we try to name it. That infinite presence that is all around us and within us. We are in it right here and right now. And so I know this as our truth, that we are one with that one, that everything we need and more has already been given. We are living in the kingdom of God, and it is in us. And so I know that whatever it is that we desire as a community or an individual, it has already been given. And so I claim and accept for each one of us here today that we are receiving that which we came here to receive, and that we have the opportunity to give of the light that we are, the love that God is as us. And in so doing, there's that eternal receptivity, that reciprocity of love giving itself to itself. I know that we as a community are blessed beyond measure, that we have within us, individually and collectively, everything we need and more. There is nothing missing. It is all right here, always. And the highest and best is unfolding for us. I know this as our truth, and I know that there is that knower inside of you that knows it too. And so I give thanks for this continuous unfolding of the all good in, through, and as each one of our lives, and as us as a community. I am so grateful for each person that has shown up today to make this beautiful experience what it is. I'm so grateful for all the volunteers and for our wonderful guest speaker, Rev Mitch. I am so grateful to know that this community is an outpicturing of the love that God is. And so with this, I simply release this word into the law as our truth. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Now I invite Marilyn back for, the affirmation. Yes, the affirmation. So the affirmation for the work is, I'll say it first, and then we can say it together. I am co-creating a world that works for everyone. I am co-creating a world that works for everyone, and so it is.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Mm. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Fundamentally, we are united. Existentially, I am inspired. You are important to me. Love free of judgment is the key. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Unequivocally, you are what you say. Elementally, this is a new day. Breathe in the possibility. Live as you invent your life to be. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Give up the act. Be who you really are. Life is a movie, and you are the star. Take on a role that you appreciate. Step into your life, don't leave it up to fate. And the world goes round and round. Somehow we all stick to the ground. Let's all roll up our sleeves. It makes no difference what you believe. This is the age of transformation. I'm expressing my dedication, bringing harmony into the space, loving up the whole human race. Ah, the world, it's a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm telling you, give up the act. Be who you really are. Life is a movie, and you are the star. Take on a role that you appreciate. Step into your life, don't leave it up to fate. And the world goes round and round. Somehow we all stick to the ground. I say let's all roll up our sleeves. It makes no difference what you or I believe. This is the age of transformation. I'm here expressing my dedication. Oh, bringing harmony into the space and loving up the whole human race. Ah, the world, it's a beautiful place. You know, I believe that it is. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Mm-hmm. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Fundamentally, we are united. Existentially, I am inspired. You are important to me.
Woohoo! Woo! Thank you, Marilyn. That was beautiful. Was that one of your new songs? Not new. That was a great song. I love it.
Always appropriate.
Yes, all right. So it is my pleasure to invite Rev Mitch Austin back. He came to us a few months ago. And so without further ado, please welcome Mitch Austin.
I'm back. It's always a good sign when you get invited back. So grateful. Can we give it up again for Marilyn Gale and her beautiful music? And Reverend Julia, her beautiful prayer meditation. So I just want to say happy Grand Rising to everyone. Turn to somebody and say happy Grand Rising. Happy Grand Rising to you. Happy Grand Rising. Now, isn't that better than good morning? Like good sadness? You know there's actually a movement to replace good morning with Grand Rising? Anybody know about that? Yeah, there really is. So here, I'm going to invite you for a whole week. You're going to replace good morning with Grand Rising. You're going to wake up, tell your dog or cat, Grand Rising, your neighbor, don't worry, they'll judge you. But at least for the right thing, right? Something really good. So I'm so grateful to be back with you again. And as you may know, I'm a brand new baby minister, Rev Mitch, only a few months into my license, although I've been doing this for a while. And one thing they teach you in ministerial school, that it is a minister's job to comfort the afflicted. And it's also a minister's job to afflict the comfortable. And we might do a little bit of that today. So I'm working with a little book written by Parker Palmer. Who knows Parker Palmer? He's an author, a spiritual leader for social change, so many wonderful things. And the book I'm working with is A Hidden Wholeness, The Journey Towards an Undivided Life, Welcoming the Soul and Weaving Community in a Wounded World. In a wounded world. And don't we need that now more than ever? And as I was going through the book and I was reading it, this phrase jumped out at me. And the phrase was rejoining soul and role. Rejoining soul and role. And I thought, oh, that'd make a great talk title. So that's the title of today's talk. And what pulled at me was this idea that we all take on roles in different spaces. Sometimes we're a sister, a mother, a brother in some spaces, or a coworker, or a volunteer, or a colleague, or a neighbor, right? We have all these roles that we step into. And there are times when the world has us in that role and it's pulling at us to step out of what our soul knows to be true. Who's ever experienced that division of soul and role? I think we all have at some point. And I thought today, let's talk about it. So I want to talk about what it means to be living from our wholeness, living that undivided life, and the importance of it. Because sometimes we think, I'll just go with the flow. I won't rock the boat. And we don't speak our truth. And we don't know sometimes what's on the other side of that truth that our soul is calling us to speak, and how that might heal the world. So we're going to talk about the importance of it. We're also going to talk about the symptoms of living a divided life. And also we're going to look at what I call the 4 horsemen that keep us from living that undivided life. And lastly, what the journey back looks like to rejoining soul and role. In the book, Parker quotes Thomas Merton, who's a monk, an author, and a mystic. And Thomas says, in all things is a hidden wholeness. See, our wholeness is not dependent upon condition, although Madison Avenue would have you believe those shoes will make you whole, or that car, or this hairdo, or fill in the blank, right? The wholeness I'm talking about is a perfection of soul that's always been with you. Nothing that the world or anyone's judgment of you can ever diminish, right? And in the book, it talks about our wholeness not meaning perfection according to the world's definition, but embracing the brokenness as an integral part of life. It's a both and that creates this mosaic of wholeness. You know, I've discovered as I've got up and I've spoken over the years, right, as a minister, I'm telling people to do a whole bunch of really important stuff that I'm still learning to do. But I'm still whole. It's a both and. We can be a work in progress and still be whole. In fact, Spirit is always fashioning itself through us in different ways, some ways that we may not always want to have happen, but require us to become a new creation. You know, Parker in the book talks about, he likes to travel up to the Boundary Waters up in Minnesota, and there's large forests there. He loves the trees there. And he went there in, I think it was 2009, and they had hurricane force winds there, and 20 million trees were blown down. It was huge devastation. And what he noticed as he went back year after year, he saw how nature started to incorporate all of the devastation into a new creation. The forest was never the same, but maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it was meant to be a new creation. You know, I'm in my 57th year, aging like fine wine, yes. I actually love it. I actually love it more than I thought I ever would. But you know, when I look back sometimes, I go, man, in my 30s, I had an amazing memory. I had like one of those elephant memories, like I can remember everything. And the temptation now is I don't have that same memory, and there's a part of me that wants to judge myself as not as whole. But if I look at what else is coming in, I've noticed I make a lot better decisions now. I've noticed that some wisdom has dropped in that wasn't there before, that I'm a new creation. And I can look at myself now through this new lens of wholeness, that I'm always becoming another part of the being that's within me that has always been whole, right? And so what is the importance of living this undivided life, of making sure that we're living our truth, that we're standing in it, that we're moving from it? Because it's hard to do in a don't rock the boat world, yes? I mean, there are people we know in different professions, like teachers, some of them are just mailing it in, putting on another movie. Some doctors treat their patients with indifference, oh well. Some supervisors, as the book says, has an employee handbook where heart should be. You know, they did a study of people in their professions about how much they felt connected to their jobs, whether they really liked their jobs. It was only about 50%. If you look at 4 nurses, 2 of them may not really like their jobs. You better hope you get the right one, right? Anyone remember the WorldCom scandal or the Enron scandal? Anyone remember those scandals? Do you remember who brought those scandals to light? Anyone remember the names of the women? The names of the women were Cynthia Cooper, Colleen Rowley, and Sharon Watkins. And they were nominated by Time magazine in 2002 as Persons of the Year. And these 3 women had to decide between their professional careers and doing what their soul was telling them was right. That these companies had went off the rails. They were not in integrity with the people they were supposed to be serving. And so they spoke out. They decided to go with their soul. They decided to stand in their integrity. And there was a price to pay. Many of them were judged by their colleagues. One woman was quoted as she cried herself to sleep every night. But we wouldn't have been able to stop that corruption and begin to create a better world. See, this work runs deep. And we may have to make a choice about standing in our wholeness, our inner truth, or what Parker Palmer calls our inner teacher that's telling us the right thing to do. So why don't we do it? Why am I even talking about it? Right? What keeps us from standing in that wholeness, that being true to ourselves? You know, Parker Palmer gives a few examples of this in the book I'd like to share with you. He says, the divided life comes in many forms, such as we refuse to invest ourselves in our work, diminishing its quality and distancing ourselves from those it is meant to serve. Just punching the clock, right? Or we remain in settings or relationships that steadily kill off our spirits. Or he says, we hide our beliefs from those who disagree with us to avoid conflict, challenge, and change. So I looked at these examples and I came up with what I call the 4 horsemen that keep us from living an undivided life. And the first one is denial. I know, it ain't just a river in Egypt. I love saying that. I have a male friend who's gay, and his parents are very conservative, and they do not embrace his lifestyle at all. But they came to his church, and his partner came over and gave him a kiss. They did a kiss on the hi, honey thing. Now, they saw it, but they just said, oh, that's just his friend, right? They were in denial. They didn't have a place to put that information that the house of their consciousness could hold. So sometimes that's why we're in denial. That truth that comes in, we don't know how to hold it. That's the first horseman. The second one is, we may doubt our inner knowing, right? You ever have that small, still voice come in, and because it whispered, you just discounted it? Didn't think it was really true? And what we know sometimes about this voice is that It's the truest thing we could know. But we think sometimes because it's irrational or it isn't textbook, we shouldn't listen to it. So we doubt our inner knowing. And then the third horseman is fear. We're afraid of judgment, consequences. What if I speak my truth? What if I live my truth? What if I stand in my wholeness? Right? You know what I think fear really is? Metaphysically speaking, it's a symptom. It's a symptom of disconnect from our source. Because when we know that we are a piece of the divine source, God, whatever you call it, that is all powerful, all loving, all wise, always going out before us and preparing the way. When we know we have that kind of partner on our journey, we can never feel fear again. Not really. And then the fourth horseman is the most sneaky one. It's comfort. It's comfort. We get in our comfort zone, right? Why rock that boat when I'm feeling comfortable? Is the discomfort of change really worth living my truth? Because things are going to change in ways that could feel uncomfortable. So what are some of the symptoms of living a divided life? The first one is you feel like a fraud. You feel like, you're in this role, you're kind of doing the thing, you may even be rewarded for it, but you're not living your truth. Or you might feel anxious. You don't know why you always feel anxious when you step into this space or place. There may be a part of you that you're putting behind the curtain. Or maybe you wake up depressed on certain days. You might want to inquire within and ask yourself, what truth are you not living? I remember years ago, I was in this relationship, and we were the it couple, me and my partner. We would throw a karaoke party, 40 people would show up. I'm not kidding. And we'd walk into church, and people would love on us, and from the outside looking in, it looked amazing. On the inside, not so great. The relationship was broken. I knew I shouldn't be in that relationship, but it was comfortable. Everyone loved us. See, so when we don't align with our truth, the wheels start to come off the bus. I remember in 2007, I woke up in the hospital with tubes and wires and bags, hurting from head to toe. And I thought, how did I get here? How did I get here? And the day before, I was in ER all day. They didn't know what to do with me. The surgeon was going to talk to me. They didn't talk to me. My organs were shutting down. They didn't know what to do with me, so they just plugged me into a bunch of bags. Hoped it would all turn out. And what I realized at that point is that everything in my life was bankrupt. I had a lifestyle, not a life. I was a superintendent, had the good job, making the 6 figures, had the big house, had the partnership, had the car. You looked at my life, you think I was winning, and on the inside I was dying. I didn't like my job. I knew I shouldn't have been in partnership. I had a house that was way over what I should have bought. And I wasn't even living authentically in my body at the time. So what happened? I got sick because I was sweeping it all under the rug. There is not a mind-body connection. This is body. This is the subconscious body. You don't digest your food. You don't grow your hair. So when you sweep it under there into the shadows, this starts speaking out. And what I realized in that 7 days, it felt like dog days every day, is I needed to leave my job. I didn't love it. It was somebody else's job. I needed to go. And what I realized, it was killing me. And I thought, well, who's going to pay the bills? And I thought, well, a dead person can't pay bills very well. Right? And then I realized something else. If I lose the job or the house or the career or the person or whatever, I can get that back, but I can't get time back. It's the most precious resource we have. And what I had discovered on that journey of if it's not this, then what is it? It's speaking, it's teaching, it's writing. I had a vision when I went on this journey of what is my calling? What is my soul pulling me towards? But I had to take a risk to live my truth. And I took the leap. And you know what happened? Yeah, I lost the house, bankruptcy, the partner, the car. I had to address some addiction issues. I had to go on this whole healing journey. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat to have this life. One that I'm proud of, one that I feel in integrity with. And that's what's at stake here. And the most important part of this is we got to make a choice. So I'm going to invite you right now, make a choice right now. That no matter what role or space that you step into, you're going to live your soul's truth. Because if you make that choice now, you don't have to guess what your answer is when the world tries to pull us in a different direction when you make that choice now. So I'm going to invite you to choose to live your truth, to speak your truth. You know, Mel Robbins says there's some side effects to speaking your truth. You heal yourself. You inspire others. You become bomb AF. That's as Farfanugan for the audience. You live authentically. You attract the most beautiful souls. You vibrate higher and attract what you want. You create a ripple in the universe. So I'm going to invite you now to think about some areas of your relationship. We're going to drop in no shame, no blame, no judgment. So let's just take a breath in and drop in. Are you living your truth in relationship? Maybe there's a friend you know who isn't in integrity with you, that it's time to end that friendship. Or a neighbor, or a family member. Or perhaps it's in the area of your finances. Maybe it's time to heal that disconnect. To not keep buying things on Amazon. Shoppicating. To make a budget. To live in integrity of self-care in your finances. Or maybe it's in your area of work or service. Is what you're doing really for you? Or you're just living out of habit, out of comfort? Perhaps it's in the area of health. Maybe your soul is saying it's time to quit sugar and flour. Maybe it's time to exercise, to care for yourself. I'm just going to invite you right now to make a choice. Because that's where all things start. That's where all things flow. And I just invite you back into the room. You know, I love Ambrose Redmond's definition of courage because it takes courage to live our truth. Ambrose says, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than the fear. What's being called through you, to you, is more important than the fear. And when we realize that fear is only a disconnect of us in consciousness to source, and that source has always got us, there is nothing to fear. And that pull of your soul into that role is your divine assignment to heal a world that needs you now more than ever. More than ever. So don't judge that small, still voice that tells you do this. Because sometimes we say, oh, it's just a small thing. Who knows Toys for Tots? Anyone know Toys for Tots? Yeah, a lady one day got an idea, and she said, you know, a lot of kids that don't have toys. And she got some friends together. And now we all know what this is. But what if she judged that? What if she said, oh, I'm not enough? It won't make a difference. I know there's somebody in here who's being called. So I have to call you out. That's my job. So I hope you commit to choose to live an undivided life, and that you trust in this substance, this source, this being that is beating your heart, growing your hair, breathing you. You can't even wake yourself up in the morning, to also support you in standing in the truth it gave you, by the way. No accidents. And that you lean into a loving, supporting community like this or some other community that can help you walk and talk when you're feeling nervous or unsure. You know, Maya Angelou says, a good done anywhere is a good done everywhere. There's only one of us. And I want to leave you with the words of the prophet, Khalil Gibran. He says, do not live half a life, and do not die half a death. If you choose silence, be silent. When you speak, do so until you are finished. If you accept, then express it bluntly. Do not mask it. If you refuse, then be clear about it. For an ambiguous refusal is but a weak acceptance. Do not accept half a solution. Do not believe half a truth. Do not dream half a dream. Do not fantasize about half hopes. Half the way will get you nowhere. You are a whole that exists to live a whole life, not half a life. And so it is. Thank you.
Awesome, Possum. Let's give Rev Mitch a big hand. And now, Marilyn, thank you again for giving us another song.
You
Appreciate
got
it.
Okay, so I want to say this is a fairly new song, and it goes fairly fast. I'm going to do a brief introduction, and then I'm going to sing the first line to show you how it goes, and then we're just going to take it from there. I'll help you keep up with me. Here we go. I see what I need to see as I learn to live in serenity. Sing that with me. I see what I need to see as I learn to live in serenity. I know what I need to know as I practice being in the flow. I do what I need to do as I learn to live a way that's new. I say what I need to say as I embrace my life today. Now I'm going to show you how the chorus goes. It goes like this. Learning and growing is how I choose to live. The more I receive, the more I have to give. Sing that with me now. Learning and growing is how I choose to live. The more I receive, the more I have to give. I hear what I need to hear as I learn and pray. Hang on, sorry. Let's go out here again. I hear what I need to hear as I breathe in a grateful atmosphere. I feel what I need to feel as I learn to love all that's real. I let go and release as I learn to live my life in peace. I go where I need to go as I follow the light within my soul. Learning and growing. Learning and growing is how I choose to live. The more I receive, the more I have to give. Let's repeat that. Learning and growing is how I choose to live. The more I receive, the more I have to give. Let's do that again. Learning and growing is how I choose to live. The more I receive, the more I have to give. Okay, one more time. Learning and growing is how I choose to live. The more I receive, the more I have to give. Then we'll go out with the it's like I did at the beginning. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Woo! Thank you. Fun. Now it's time for our conscious giving. So I'm going to invite us to stand as we do our prosperity affirmation together. And so I'll say it once, and then we can say it together. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and nurtures all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And now we'll have the basket being passed. Thank you, Hillary.
We are dancing in spirit. Each of us knows our part. Sing with me if you'd like. We are dancing in spirit. Each of us knows our part. We are dancing in spirit. Each of us knows our part. We are dancing in spirit. Each of us knows our part. One more time. We are dancing in spirit. Each of us knows our part. Knows our part. Oh.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the blessing that you are as our center. And thank you for all the gifts that you give. And I'm going to bless these financial gifts right now. And so I just say thank you, thank you, thank you, knowing that the all good is continuously giving in, through, and as us, as our life. And part of that life contains these financial gifts. And so I know that as we give, we also receive. And I'm so grateful to know that these financial gifts go out and bless our mothership, Centers for Spiritual Living, and our community partners here in Nevada County. And in so doing, they also bless the world. So I just know that we are blessed beyond measure. This is our truth, and so it is. And I want to remind you today about our annual general meeting. If you're a member, or if you're not, you're welcome to join us. And we will be having that after we eat. So anybody that's here today, you're invited to break bread and eat with us after the service, and then we'll have our meeting. I want to say thank you, in addition to all of you who have shown up. Thank you to our volunteers, Hillary, Diana, Juanita. Thank you, Marilyn. And I just want to thank Rev. Mitch Austin.
Yeah.
So awesome to have him again today. Thank you for all of you that support this community in ways that we may not even know about. Thank you for Shyla for helping out. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you all very much. Thank you to Rev Julia. I love you very much. Thank you. So what are we taking away with us today? Love. Gratitude. Acceptance. Integrity.
Joy.
Courage. Fearlessness. Joy. Grand Rising. Woo-hoo. Oh, wow. Feels good. Feels good. We are participating in that grand rising in so many ways, right? And so I'm going to invite us to stand for our benediction. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It's this thing called a grand rising. It's this thing called saying yes. It's this thing that's called taking our rightful place. I know it. I feel it. I sense it. Because I am it. And so it is. And stay standing for our closing song.
Okay.
Feel free to hold hands.
So let's see here. So the spots are left blank because I took notes during the talk. And so I will tell you what I came up with, and we're going to just go with it like that, all right? It's a very simple song. It goes like this. I've got something in my heart. In my heart, there's something there. We'll start with wholeness. I've got something in my heart. We call it wholeness. Wholeness. I've got something in my heart. In my heart, there's something there. Inner truth. I've got something in my heart. We call it inner truth. Oh, yeah. Inner truth. Okay, then it's my heart is so full. I just have to sing. I've got something in my heart, courage in my heart, there's something there. I've got something in my heart. We call it courage. Courage. I've got something in my heart. In my heart, there's something there. My calling. I've got something in my heart. We call it my calling. Oh, it's my calling. My heart is so full. I just have to sing. Oh, I've got something in my heart. In my heart, there's something there, my calling. I've got something in my heart. We call it my calling, my calling. We call it courage. We call it courage, courage. Inner truth, we call it inner truth, inner truth. We call it wholeness. We call it wholeness, wholeness. One more time, we call it wholeness. We call it wholeness, wholeness.
Before we end, I'd like to bless the food.